and welcome to everyone watching the Written in Melanin channel. Wherever this day may have found you, I'm so glad that you are here. My name is Chelsea, better known as CM Lockhart, and I'm here to bring some melanin to your pages. That being said, I have tried to vlog several times in the past now, but I think I got it. So, if you guys listen to the podcast, there was a section on the podcast called Chelsea's Corner, where basically I kept you guys updated on everything that is happening with me and my book, like my personal writing journey. Well, I decided to take that out of the podcast because I was making the episodes kind of long and because I couldn't batch record, and I like to be productive. I like to have time in my life. So I decided that I'm going to just do this as a vlog and see how that works out, and hopefully works out well. So that being said, slight plug, if you have not listened to the podcast, I recommend that you do. It's just called the Written in Melanin podcast, and I talk about all the things that I have learned as an indie author and share that with you guys so that hopefully it will make your indie author journey a little bit easier. As far as this Chelsea's Corner or Chelsea's Vlog, I don't know what I'm going to call this just yet. But as of right now, today is Tuesday, May 24th. It is currently 12:54 p.m. So I have a couple of hours before the Melanin Chat. And if you don't know what the Melanin Chat is, it's the talk show that I do with Audrey Russell at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays on my channel, this channel. And we do that every Tuesday, and we take a break every 6 weeks. So if you want to join, we talk about all things Black and bookish related to indie authorship, so it's fun. Come hang out with us. All you have to do is, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, that way YouTube will let you know. But, that's just a thought. But as for today and what I am working on, a couple of things before I get into what I'm actually planning to work on. So I mentioned on the podcast, but in case you're new to my channel, you know nothing about me. I'm an indie author. I write books about Black girls who aren't all that nice. And my book, We Are the Origin, is coming out in less than a month. And it is an epic fantasy about a group of assassins who have to work together to save the gods in the realm from destruction. And it is book one and a two-part series. And I say that kind of tentatively at this point because it will definitely be at least 2 books, but it may be more than that depending on how the second book comes out. So we will see. The thing about me that you have to know, specifically regarding this book, is that I did not have an editor before I started this journey. Like, I found an editor while I was going through this process and after I had picked a release date. So I got my edits back, but my book comes out in less than a month, so I don't really have time for major rewrites. And so now I'm kind of going back and forth like, do I need to? What am I going to do? And after a lot of back and forthing and going back and forth with my husband, his name is Ben. You'll probably hear about him a lot on this channel if you're not familiar with me, because we spend a lot of time together and we like each other. So there we go. Anyway, went back and forth with my husband, Ben, for like a good little while, and I finally decided that the way the book is going to remain the way it is. I'm not going to do any major rewrites, but I'm definitely going to go through, clean things up, tighten things up, add more description, more details, because from my perspective, the beta readers that I had did really enjoy the book, and I'm just kind of like, there are people who are not going to care for it, but I know that this is the book of my heart. Like, I really put in all of the skills that I have as an indie author currently at this moment in time. So I'm proud of what it is, and I'm going to do what I can to make it the best book possible, but I am not going to stress myself out at this point trying to do the impossible, especially since I have been on like this personal journey where I'm trying to like take better care of myself, like my health and my mental and everything else. So as much as I love my book, I also don't want to send myself back to the hospital. And yes, I did have to go to the hospital, and that is a completely different story for another time. But that being said, today is Tuesday. I need to have these edits done by Friday so that I can update the book cover, update the print cover, format it, and send the e-arcs out to people who have agreed to read it, and also get copies for the physical arcs so that I can send that out to people. So lots to do, but I'm going to believe in myself and believe that I can get it done, because she who believes can get it done. I just made that up. That's not a saying, but whatever. We're going to get it done. So, like I said, it is 3 minutes until 1 o'clock, so I'm going to do sprints with myself, I guess, because I don't know if anyone's doing productivity sprints right now. So, but the goal is to get through chapters 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 today. So I'll probably be sitting here at this computer for a long time, but we will see how it goes. So wish me luck. Once I get it done, I will check in with you guys again. So later. You guys, so this is day 2 of me trying to keep myself accountable, and yesterday did not go as planned. So I didn't even get through chapter 4. I got not distracted, that's not the right word, but after I did the Melanin chat and the after chat and then like adulted, so like made dinner for myself and drank water and like everything else, I did not get through everything that I wanted to get through. Part of the reason, other than just having other responsibilities, is the fact that I had been going back and forth about whether or not to rearrange the chapters according to my editor's suggestion. Initially, I wasn't going to do it because I physically have limitations on how much I can work currently. But also, my edits really need to be done by the end of the week so that I can keep some semblance of timeline with this book coming out on June 21st. And I just wasn't sure that I had enough time. But last night, I just jumped in full force and committed to it, which led to me restructuring things versus going through it like I had initially planned to. So my timeline's a little thrown off, but it is currently 9:02, so I have literally the whole day. I have no other obligations. The podcast has already been recorded and will be releasing, or has released 2 minutes ago, and I don't have the Melanin chat, and I don't have any other obligations that are going to keep me from being productive. So I've got my headphones ready, I've got my music lined up, and I am planning to just get into this. So hopefully the goal is to basically make it as far as I can. It's going a little easier now because it's just one of those things, as you write, you get better at writing as you go along. So hopefully the middle sections are a little bit easier and faster to get through. There are definitely less comments as I'm going through the edits and making the appropriate changes. So wish me luck. That's pretty much the update for right now. I will check in with you guys later or tomorrow, whichever one comes first. All right, bye. Alright you guys, so I'm back with another update. So on the positive side, I am really proud of myself for keeping up with these daily updates. On the negative side, I am only on chapter 6, and according to my planner, it's Thursday, so I should really be on chapter 14, so I'm majorly behind. I'm really proud of what I am coming up with. It's just taking me a lot longer than I had planned to and then what my deadline really calls for. So I don't know how this is going to get done, honestly and truly. I'm thinking that I'm probably going to have to work all weekend and this is going to be a fully committed, I'm going to be working on this 24/7 until it's ready type thing, and that's a little frustrating, but I think I will be okay. I'm gonna have to be okay. It has to get done. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm a little tired because, like I said, I've been dealing with some health aspects of life that have just been not great for my energy and my productivity and my mental headspace, in general. So that's been a challenge in and of itself as well. But I am really grateful because my husband is being my proofreader, so he's going back and reading like everything word for word. He's like, oh, you missed a word here. Oh, this isn't what this really means. And, you know, maybe shift this word to this word. And he's being extremely helpful, and I'm really grateful for him. And my editor is super amazing as well because he has made himself available to me, and he's like rereading some of the suggestions that he made for the story so that I'm actually implementing. So he's giving his feedback as well. And then I also have my amazing critique partner, Amanda, who's also like available for me to be like, is this right? Do you think this? Do you think I should? So like she's there for my freakouts, and I really appreciate that because I don't know where I would be without these people right now. So that's on the positive note. I'm going to try to stay optimistic. It is 8:09 right now. So I'm like, I have the whole day ahead of me to get as much done. And as I kind of predicted, it is getting easier the further along I go in the story. I just realized that in the beginning, there were a lot of things that I didn't know. Like, I know that's kind of weird because I'm the author, but in the beginning, I wrote things a certain way, thinking that I would carry them throughout the story, and I didn't. So it's been actually really reaffirming, I guess, or just like kind of relieving to go back through and be like, oh, okay, I caught this, you know, and I can take certain things out and incorporate a little bit more foreshadowing for some of the things that I know are coming, since I know how the book ends at this point. Whereas when I was writing them the first time, I didn't know exactly how the book was going to end. So that's also like a really nice touch. Like, obviously I've been through the story multiple times at this point, but I think the, you know, month-long break that I took from sending it out to my beta readers and then coming back to it has been really, really helpful for that objectivity. And I know that that's the writing advice that everybody gives, like, take a break, give yourself some space from your work. But when you're on deadline, it's kind of hard to give yourself that space. So I'm really glad that I did take it, if that makes sense. So, because I'm seeing things that they're not plot holes. They're more like, you know, plot speed bumps, we'll say. We're just going to take some of those out. You know, I don't want to slow the reader down. I want them to keep going and not give them reason to be like, huh, that wasn't as smooth as the rest of this book. You know, I don't know if that analogy makes any sense. Like I said, it's early and my mind is kind of like panicking. But we'll get through this, and I'm really excited because if I can meet this deadline, then that means that I will have actually finished the book. That means that I will actually be sending essentially the final copy of the book out to reviewers and working on getting physical copies. If you guys don't watch the Melanin chat, my friend Audra Russell from Between the Reads podcast is going to be hosting Black Indie Author Week. She did it last year and she's doing it again this year, and she's giving away 2 book boxes. They're going to be book boxes filled with 10 books by Black authors, and she's giving away 2 of them. And I'm trying really hard to make sure that an advanced review copy of We Are the Origin is in there. So there are a lot of things that I want to accomplish, but we will see how that works. But me talking to this camera is not going to get it done. So wish me luck, and I will check in with you guys later. Bye. What's up? So today is Saturday, a little after 7 a.m. and I missed my check-in with you guys yesterday, mostly because I did not work on my edits yesterday. Instead, I was working on my podcast. So if you guys don't know, haven't clicked on any other videos on the channel, I run a podcast called the Written in Melanin podcast, where I talk about my journey as an indie author. And going forward, I am looking to have guest co-hosts on the podcast. And in order to do that, things have to be set up. Mostly what to expect, setting up calendar invites, things like that. Just the background things to make things run smoothly in the future. So I spent a lot of time getting that set up yesterday, and also just kind of like taking care of myself. If you guys missed it, yesterday I also did a recording on Amanda's channel. It's called Speak On It, and we talked about what's going on in the world currently. So if you're watching this in the future, which you are going to because it's pre-recorded, the current political climate is there has been another mass shooting in Texas, and 14 children were killed along with the teacher. And it's kind of been shaking everybody because news footage has been released where it's been revealed that not only did the police officers arrive, they basically contained the issue, and they locked the shooter in the classroom, ran in to get their own kids, and then refused to let anyone else in until the SWAT team got there, essentially, sentencing those kids and that teacher to death. And it's been wild living through this climate, and it's like, I think I saw it's the 212th mass shooting that we've had this year, and we're only in May. Like, we're not even halfway through the year yet, and it's kind of wild to be living through this social climate. So all that to say that I talked about that on Amanda's channel, Speak On It. I will leave a link to it either in the description box or up here if I can manage it, even though it's not my channel. But yeah. Okay, so my camera died, but we are back. And basically, I said all of that to bring to the point that I did not write yesterday. I did not work on my edits. I just kind of took a break, did a little self-care, went out, got myself some coffee, bought myself some things that I didn't need just because I felt like picking them up, made myself some soup that I had been wanting for a couple of days, little things like that to just like give myself a break. And then I slept. I went to bed at like 8 o'clock. So I went to bed super early, and it's just like I needed that. So I'm glad I gave myself that. But it's also one of those things where like this morning I'm trying to get back to it. So there's with the edits, I feel like there's a lot that I could probably tell you guys about it. But basically the long and short story of it is I was going to do some major rewrites of the story and try to restructure it according to some of the feedback that I got from my editor. But after trying to do that for like 3 days and it not working out the way that I wanted to, and it didn't read in a way that I felt like was authentic to my voice and what I wanted the book to be, I felt like it was morphing into something different. I didn't really care for it. So after 3 days of trying to make it work and realizing that I didn't like it, I am now at the point where I'm like, it's going to be what I had planned for it to be from the beginning, which I'm actually really happy with. But I also realized that there's still things that need to be beefed up, shored up, like gone through so that it is consistent and reads well, or reads as best as I can make it read, if you get what I'm trying to say. Like, I personally think my book is amazing, but I also want other people to think my book is amazing. So there are other parts of my edits that I got back that I am working on, specifically adding in more examples of the relationship between the main character and her boyfriend, lover, whatever you want to call him. They are an established relationship, and I've talked about this kind of on the podcast and on other platforms, but to be perfectly clear, the two main characters are Brandy and Sarah, and Brandy's love interest is Jack. They have been together for a long time. They've known each other since they were kids, and it's not like a friends to lover type thing. It's very specific to them, and is what I will say. But just know that in this book, they are an established couple. So just going back and adding more instances of showing that, because some of the feedback that I got was basically like people didn't see it. And I was like, I don't know if it's because a lot of people aren't used to seeing a relationship that is beyond the honeymoon phase. So they're not making googly eyes at each other the entire book. But I wanted to add in more aspects of them being together and being solid and being healthy, you know, despite the fact that they murder people. They're assassins, but you know, pick and choose. Anyway, adding more of that into the book, and also like adding more detailed descriptions so that people can feel a little bit more grounded in the world, hopefully, because I am an underwriter when it comes to details like that, mostly because when I read books, I literally don't care. I can imagine if you say something is outside, I'm just going to imagine the outside, and in my mind I just kind of imagine what I want it to look like until I get details that tell me differently. But if I don't get those details, then it just looks like whatever I want it to look like. But I realize that everybody does not think like that. Everybody doesn't function that way. So adding more details to the world so that people can picture it, and just like going through, cleaning it up, tightening it up as best I can. I purchased Atticus yesterday so I can format the book. I will let you guys know how I like that software, because normally I do InDesign, so I format my books myself. Atticus is supposed to be a lot faster, and I'm hoping that by purchasing it, it will save me a lot of time, because you can do, supposedly, because I haven't tested this out yet, you should be able to do print books and ebooks on the platform. So if that is true and it will save me time, then I am going to be really grateful for that. If not, I'm definitely going to be getting my money back, because we ain't got time to be just wasting coins. So that being said, this morning I am working on adding and moving a scene that I chose to move, which is kind of interesting because my mindset yesterday was like, I'm not moving anything else. But now I'm like, no, I think if I move this plot point to an earlier chapter in the book and just kind of break up some of the reveals that have been kind of naturally clumped together, then I'm hoping that'll help with some of the things that had been making me feel a little insecure, and what had led me to rearranging the book for 3 days and not liking it. So I'm hoping this is a better solution to the problem that I encountered, but we will see. I will keep you guys updated as much as I can, but it is the weekend, so I don't know how much recording I am actually going to do. But I am currently on chapter 8, so if you watched this whole video, then you know earlier I was like, ew, I'm gonna have everything done by Friday. Lies. She lied. Right now I'm just planning to hoping to have everything done by like Wednesday, so that I can focus on like marketing the book, because I want to do like a pre-order, like a special type of thing where it's like if you pre-ordered and you submit proof of your pre-order, then you know I can do something special. I have to figure out what this something special is. Right now, I'm thinking that you'll be added to an exclusive email list where you'll get the first 3 chapters of the next book. But I'm not sure if people will go for that when they haven't read the first book. So I'm not sure if that's really a reward type thing. But I gotta figure that out. But I do want to do some type of special pre-order, and I want to get that together. I also have an exclusive image that I haven't shown to anyone yet, that I'm going to be sending out with the signed paperbacks. And I have decided that the signed paperbacks, most likely, my mind could change because of who I am. If you know me at all, my mind could absolutely change later. But I'm pretty much thinking that the signed paperbacks on my website are only going to be a pre-order initiative. And then after that, you'll only be able to purchase the ebook from my website. And if you want a paperback copy, then you'll have to get it from like some other store that sells it. Because, whoo, buddy, cost of shipping, wild. But I'm really excited about the book, you guys. It's really coming together in a way that I didn't necessarily think it would at this point, because I thought it had already all come together. But seeing it still being polished is actually really kind of fun. So I'm trying to focus on the positives of this experience and not the stress of I should have had this done yesterday. So yeah, That's where I'm at. But I am not going to continue to ramble. I'm going to get back to these edits. Like I said, I'm on chapter 8. My goal for today is to at least get through chapter 10. And then that way I can break up the remaining chapters, but we will see. So yeah, wish me luck. If you're writing, let me know how you're doing, what you're working on. Just leave something in the comments to let me know that you've watched this far. Maybe just drop the code word stressed or something. I don't know. Something. But yeah, I'm gonna get to writing. Bye, you guys.